Today, we are diving into the preface of a really fascinating book called Majesty in Monotony. The preface itself is titled How This Book Might Be Useful to You. And you know what? It's basically a guide for navigating the modern world of education and work, especially when you're feeling a bit overwhelmed by it all.
So let me ask you, do you ever get that feeling of being, well, kind of small and insignificant in this gigantic universe? Or maybe you look at your education, all these different subjects, and wonder if it's actually preparing you for the real world. If that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. The author of this book tackles those feelings head on. Here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with this really cool idea of a book being a conversation. Then we'll get into 4 huge problems a lot of us face, from feeling insignificant to dealing with our own mortality, and explore the cosmic solutions the author offers up for each one. All right, first up, let's explore this idea of a cosmic conversation. The author makes a pretty bold claim. A book isn't just ink on paper. Nope, it's something way bigger, a personal dialogue that can stretch across time and space. I mean, think about it, right? A book is a direct line into someone else's mind. You get to wrestle with their ideas, argue with them in your head, and ultimately use their perspective as a kind of toolkit for making sense of this wild, often chaotic world we live in. Okay, so let's tackle our first big challenge. The author talks about this one moment at a planetarium, just being hit by the immense, almost scary scale of the universe. And that brings us right to the problem of scale. So, on one hand, you've got that gut punch feeling of being just a tiny speck in what the author calls an ocean of oblivion. It's so easy to feel like nothing you do could possibly matter. But then, the author just flips the script completely. The cosmic solution isn't to run from this massive scale, but to lean into it. See, you're not just in the universe, you are the universe. The fact that you exist, that you can think and feel, is a stunning testament to his incredible 14 billion-year journey. And this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. It's incredibly practical. Once you really get that everything is connected, it completely changes how you solve problems. You start seeing the invisible threads between things, whether that's your role on a team at work or how your major actually connects to everything else. You stop seeing tiny, isolated parts and start seeing the whole system. And you know, that idea of interconnectedness flows perfectly into our next challenge. Something I think anyone who's been through school or is in the workforce now will instantly recognize. It's the problem of fragments. We're taught history in one classroom, then we run down the hall for biology, and then it's off to economics, as if these things have nothing to do with each other. This creates a really fractured way of seeing the world. So the cosmic solution here is to just tear down those walls. Real innovation, the kind that changes things, doesn't happen in a silo. It happens when you can pull ideas from different fields and see that complete picture. Oh, I love this metaphor of a woven tapestry. It just perfectly captures the goal, doesn't it? It's not about trying to know everything. That's impossible. It's about building the skill to see how the threads of different ideas weave together. That ability is what turns a good student into a great problem solver. Okay, so we've connected ourselves to the cosmos, and we're weaving our knowledge into a beautiful tapestry. But how do we actually think about all this stuff? Well, that brings us to the problem of certainty. Let's be honest, a lot of education can feel like you're just supposed to download facts and then repeat them on a test. The author here suggests a totally different approach. The cosmic solution is to become an active, critical thinker. It's about embracing a healthy skepticism, not to be negative, but because real, deep understanding only happens when you question, you challenge, and you test ideas for yourself. And this part is absolutely crucial. The author isn't asking you to just agree with them. They're inviting you to a debate, one that's built on evidence and logic. This mindset, being able to defend your own ideas while respectfully challenging others based on observation, that is the real engine of progress, not just in science, but in everything. And now we've arrived at the final problem. It's the big one, the most personal one of all. It's the one we all have to face, our own mortality. It is so easy to feel this sense of dread, right? Knowing our time here is limited. Does that make everything we do pointless? Well, the book offers this incredibly powerful and radical reframe. Our limited time isn't a curse. It's the very thing that gives life meaning. Think about it. A deadline is one heck of a motivator. This is such a profound point. Our mortality isn't something we should run away from in fear. It's the source of our urgency, our passion, our purpose. Knowing that the clock is ticking transforms every single moment into this precious opportunity to learn, to create, and to really, truly live. So after grappling with all these massive ideas, what's the big takeaway? How does this cosmic perspective actually help you in your studies, your career, your life? Let's break it down into a simple little toolkit.
First, understanding your connection to the universe gives you the ultimate context. It helps you see the big picture and ground your own goals inside a story that is so much bigger and more meaningful.
Second, weaving all that fragmented knowledge into one unified tapestry gives you clarity. It's that superpower of seeing connections that other people miss, which lets you solve problems in way more creative and effective ways. And finally, embracing your mortality gives you purpose. It's that fire inside that pushes you to stop waiting around and start doing, to make the most of this incredible short time we have. And when you put it all together, it leads to one final question. So you see, this preface isn't just an introduction to a book. It's really a challenge. It's handing you a toolkit to completely reframe your world. So the only question left is the one right here on your screen. Now that you have this cosmic context, what are you going to build with it?